Galactic Empire in Shock. You haven't seen the real human army yet. Part 1. The huge alien ship hung in space above Earth like a dark cloud. Its metal surface gleamed in the sunlight as smaller ships flew around it. On the main deck of the ship, Ambassador Carter Williams adjusted his tie. Today was the day humanity would officially join the Galactic Dominion. "Nervous?" asked Susan Johnson, standing beside him. Her uniform showed her rank as military liaison for Earth. Carter nodded. "A little. We're about to meet aliens who have been watching us for years." The door slid open with a soft hiss. 3 tall figures entered the room. They had blue skin, 4 arms, and eyes that seemed too large for their narrow faces. The one in the middle wore a gold band across his chest. "Welcome, humans," said the middle alien. "I am High Chancellor Zorthak of the Galactic Dominion. We are pleased to formally welcome Earth into our alliance of 317 species." Carter stepped forward and bowed. "On behalf of Earth, we are honored to join the galactic community." The meeting room was filled with screens showing images of Earth cities, oceans, and mountains. Zorthak moved around the room, looking at each image with interest. "Your planet is beautiful," he said, "rich in resources and life. The Dominion will help you develop your potential." Susan noticed how his eyes lingered on images of Earth's mining operations and water reserves. Something felt off about his interest. Later at the welcome banquet, humans and aliens mingled in a large hall. The ceiling was made of clear material that showed the stars above. Carter talked with alien diplomats while Susan watched from a distance. Lieutenant Commander Alan Miller stood beside her. "What do you think?" he asked quietly. "They're being too nice," Susan said. "Nobody gives this much without wanting something in return." Alan nodded. "I'm going to look around. Cover for me if anyone asks." He slipped away from the main hall and walked down a quiet corridor. The ship was massive, with halls that seemed to go on forever. He heard voices coming from a room ahead and slowed down. 2 Dominion officers were talking. Alan didn't understand their language, but the translator device in his pocket did. He turned it on and listened. "Primitive weapons and defenses," one voice said. "Their most advanced fighters are barely above atmosphere capable. Their military bases are all visible from orbit," another voice added. "No hidden facilities, no major space fleet. High Chancellor was right. They will be easy to control." Alan's heart beat faster. He moved closer to hear better. "When do we begin the resource extraction?" asked the first voice. "After we've completed our survey. A few more weeks. The humans think they're joining as equals, but they'll soon learn their place." Alan backed away quietly. He needed to tell Susan and Carter what he had heard. On the other side of the ship, Dr. Lisa Green was studying Dominion technology. The aliens had given Earth scientists limited access to their systems as a gesture of goodwill. Lisa was interested in their scanning technology. "This is fascinating," she said to her assistant. "Their scanners use a different part of the spectrum than ours." She looked at the scan results of Earth showing on the alien screen. The map showed cities, military bases, and power plants. All the things the Dominion could see from orbit. But something was missing. Lisa pointed to a spot in the northern hemisphere. "That's strange. They don't show the underground base at Pine Mountain." Her assistant looked confused. "Maybe they're being respectful of our secret facilities?" Lisa shook her head. "No, look at this." She pointed to other missing locations. "They don't show any of our deep underground bases or the underwater facilities. They can't see them." She studied the scanner specifications more carefully. "Their technology has a blind spot. Our stealth systems block their scans completely. But they don't realize it. They think they're seeing everything." Meanwhile, Carter was still talking with Zorthak. The alien leader seemed particularly interested in Earth's defense capabilities. "We've noticed your military is quite small for a planet your size." "Zorthak," said Carter, smiled politely. "We've been at peace for some time. Our focus has been on development rather than warfare." "A wise choice," Zorthak said, though his tone suggested he thought otherwise. "The Dominion can offer protection while you develop further. As the night went on, Alan found Susan and whispered what he had overheard. Her face grew serious. "We need to warn Earth," she said quietly, "but we can't let them know we're suspicious." "Doctor, Green found something too," Alan said. "There's a lot the Dominion isn't seeing about our capabilities." Susan nodded. "Keep playing along. I'll find a way to send a secure message home." The next day, Carter and Susan were invited to tour the Dominion flagship. Zorthak showed them the bridge where alien officers worked at control stations. "This ship is just one of our smaller diplomatic vessels," Zorthak said. "Our actual military fleet is much more impressive." Susan noticed how he emphasized their military power. It was clearly meant to intimidate. When they returned to their quarters, Carter found a message from Earth. He read it with Susan and Alan. "They're mobilizing our hidden forces," Carter said quietly. "If the Dominion is planning something, we'll be ready." Dr. Green joined them, bringing data from her research. "They can't detect our stealth technology," she explained. "They think they've seen all our military capabilities, but they've only seen what we've allowed them to see." That night, while the humans slept, High Chancellor Zorthak met with his military commanders on the bridge. "The humans are weaker than we expected," he said. "Their primitive technology and small military will make them easy to control." He pointed to a hologram of Earth's moon. "They have a small base here. Taking it will show them our power and break their will to resist." "When do we attack, High Chancellor?" asked the fleet commander. Zorthak's four eyes narrowed. "Tomorrow. They won't expect it. Begin preparations." Unknown to him, a small device hidden in the room transmitted his words to Alan's quarters. The humans listened in silence. "So much for peaceful first contact," Carter said grimly. "They think they know what we're capable of," Susan replied. "They have no idea what's waiting for them." As the Dominion prepared for their surprise attack, deep beneath Earth's surface and oceans, doors that hadn't opened in decades began to slide apart. Lights came on in massive underground hangars. Soldiers who had trained in secret for years checked their advanced weapons. The real human army was waking up. Galactic Empire in shock. You haven't seen the real human army yet. Part 2. The attack came at dawn, Earth time. Without warning, Dominion warships appeared above the moon. Their weapons fired bright beams that cut through the dome of Luna, base like it was paper. Air rushed out into space. Alarms blared as people ran for emergency shelters. Commander Olivia Wright was in the control center when the first blast hit. The room shook and screens went dark. She grabbed the emergency radio. "All personnel evacuate to emergency bunkers. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." She watched the screens that still worked. Dominion ships surrounded the moon base. Some landed and alien soldiers poured out. "Commander, what do we do?" asked a young officer beside her. Olivia's face was calm, but her eyes were hard. "We follow the plan. Make it look real." She pressed a button under her desk. A hidden screen lit up showing a countdown. 10 minutes to complete evacuation. Get to your station. Remember, let them think they've won. On Earth, news of the attack spread quickly. People watched in horror as live feeds from the moon went dark. Government leaders called emergency meetings. The Dominion sent a message to all Earth communications networks. High Chancellor Zorthak's face appeared on screens worldwide. "People of Earth, your moon base has fallen. This was necessary to show you the power of the Dominion. Surrender now, and no more lives will be lost. Resist, and your planet will suffer the same fate." Deep beneath a mountain in North America, Admiral John Russell met with the United Earth Defense Council. The room was filled with military leaders from around the world. A large screen showed the destruction of Luna Base. "They hit us exactly where we expected," John said. "Luna Base was mostly evacuated 2 days ago. Commander Wright and a skeleton crew stayed behind to make it look real." An older woman at the table frowned. "We lost good people up there, Admiral." "Yes, General Patterson. And we mourn them. But their sacrifice has given us an opportunity." John pointed to the screen. "The Dominion thinks they've seen our best defense. They believe we're weak and will surrender." He pressed a button, and the screen changed to show a map of Earth with hidden bases marked in red. This is actually our chance. They don't know about our real forces. Let them believe they've won for now. In a small apartment in Mexico City, Frank Martinez was watching the news when his phone rang. The caller ID showed a number he hadn't seen in years. Martinez, he answered. Code Phoenix soldier. Transport arriving in 30 minutes. Frank stood up straight. Understood. He went to his closet and moved aside clothes to reveal a metal box. Inside was a uniform he thought he'd never wear again. As he put it on, memories of his time in Special Forces came flooding back. 30 minutes later, a black car stopped outside his building. Frank got in without a word. The driver handed him a tablet. Your team is assembled, Captain. Mission briefing is on this. Frank read the details of his mission. His team would sneak aboard a Dominion command ship and plant tracking devices. It was dangerous, maybe impossible, but he had trained for missions like this his whole life. Meanwhile, Ambassador Carter Williams was taken to a meeting with Zorthak on the Dominion flagship. Susan Johnson and Alan Miller went with him. Your attack on our moon base was unprovoked, Carter said, his voice steady despite his anger. Zorthak spread his forearms in a gesture that might have been apology, but his eyes showed no regret. It was necessary to show you reality. The Dominion is not your equal. We are your superiors. He pressed a button, and a hologram appeared showing Earth surrounded by Dominion warships. We can target any city on your planet, but we prefer not to waste resources. Accept your place as a protected territory under Dominion rule, and your people will be spared. Carter kept his face neutral. We need time to discuss your terms with Earth's leaders. You have 3 Earth days, Zorthak said. No more. After they left the meeting, Susan whispered to Carter. He's confident. Too confident. Good, Carter replied. The more confident they are, the more surprised they'll be. On Earth, Dr. Lisa Green was working with a team of scientists in a hidden facility deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. The base was built into the seafloor, undetectable by Dominion scanners. Their ships use a form of quantum linking for communication, she explained to her team. If we can tap into it, we'll know every move they plan to make. One of the scientists looked worried. Even if we can, they outnumber us. Their technology is advanced. Lisa smiled. Is it? They think so. But they haven't seen what we've been building down here for the past 50 years. She pressed her hand to a scanner, and a wall slid open. Behind it was a massive hangar filled with sleek ships unlike any publicly known Earth vessel. These fighters can match anything they have. Across the world, similar scenes played out. In the Sahara Desert, huge doors hidden under sand opened to reveal underground bases. In Antarctica, heating systems melted the ice-covering hangar doors. In the depths of the Amazon rainforest, trees that were actually disguised access points moved aside. Earth was waking up. General Kate Patterson stood in the command center of the North American Underground Complex. Screens showed feeds from hidden bases worldwide. Lazarus Protocol is active, reported an officer. All sleeper units report ready status. Kate nodded. Begin Phase 1, covert deployment only. Nothing visible from orbit. In space, Frank Martinez and his team approached a Dominion command ship in a small shuttle. They wore spacesuits designed to be invisible to Dominion sensors. Remember, Frank told his team, plant the trackers and get out. Don't engage unless absolutely necessary. They attached to the hull of the enemy ship and cut their way in through a maintenance hatch. Moving silently through service tunnels, they placed quantum trackers at key points around the ship. Last one, whispered a team member as he placed a tracker near the ship's engine room. Suddenly, a door opened. A Dominion engineer walked in. Frank pulled his team member into shadows. The alien looked around, then left. Too close, Frank said. Let's go. They made it back to their shuttle and detached from the ship undetected. As they flew away, Frank activated the trackers. Now Earth would be able to monitor the Dominion fleet's movements. In the mountain base, Admiral Russell watched as data from the trackers came in. Good work, Martinez. Now we know every ship they have in our system. He turned to General Patterson. How long until we're ready? 24 hours, she answered. All units will be in position by then. John nodded. Good. Carter's keeping them talking. They think we're afraid and considering surrender. He looked at the map showing Dominion ships positioned above Earth's major cities. Let them think that for one more day. Then we'll show them what humanity is really capable of. Galactic Empire in shock. You haven't seen the real human army yet. Part 3. The Dominion ships filled the skies above Earth's major cities. People looked up in fear as the massive vessels blocked the sun like metal clouds. Troops had landed in some cities, setting up control points. They carried weapons unlike anything humans had publicly used before. But deep below the surface, Earth was far from defeated. Dr. Stephen Cooper stood in a control room 1 mile beneath the desert. Around him, technicians worked at stations monitoring hundreds of satellites. These weren't ordinary satellites. They had been placed in orbit years ago, disguised as space junk or hidden with technology that made them invisible to standard scans. Bring the network online, Stephen ordered. Full activation. A technician pressed a series of buttons. On the main screen, dots of light began to appear around Earth. Each dot represented a stealth satellite now activated. The network is live, Stephen announced. Fleet Command now has full tactical awareness. He opened a secure channel to Admiral Russell. Prometheus Division is operational, Admiral. You now have eyes on every Dominion ship in our system. In his mountain base, John Russell watched as detailed information about the alien fleet appeared on his screens. He could see their positions, weapon systems, shield strengths, everything. Thank you, Dr. Cooper. Begin Phase 2. In a hangar, deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, Lieutenant Kelly Martinez climbed into the cockpit of her fighter. It looked nothing like the aircraft the Dominion had seen. This was a quantum-shifted vessel, capable of appearing and disappearing from normal space. Kelly checked her systems. Around her, 20 other pilots did the same. They were the first squadron to be revealed. The tip of the spear. Phoenix Squadron, this is Phoenix Lead, she said into her communicator. Mission is go. Remember, hit and fade. Don't let them track you. The hangar roof opened, revealing the dark waters above. The fighters rose as one, their hulls glowing slightly as they passed through the ocean without making a splash. Their engines made almost no sound as they accelerated into the sky. In orbit, a Dominion supply convoy moved slowly toward Earth. The ships were loaded with equipment for the occupation forces. Their escorts scanned space around them but detected nothing unusual. Suddenly, Kelly's squadron appeared less than a mile away. Their weapons fired, cutting through the shields of the supply ships like they weren't even there. Before the Dominion could respond, the Earth fighters vanished again. On the command ship, Dominion officers rushed to report to Admiral Krell. Unknown vessels attacked the supply convoy, one said, his forearms moving in confusion. They appeared, out of nowhere, fired, and disappeared. Krell's large eyes narrowed. Impossible. Our scans show no human vessels capable of such actions. On the diplomatic front, Ambassador Carter Williams continued his meetings with High Chancellor Zorthak. The talks had gone on for hours, with Carter asking questions about every detail of the surrender terms. Your time is almost up, Ambassador, Zorthak said, growing impatient. Earth must submit to Dominion rule by tomorrow. Carter looked at the alien leader calmly. We need to clarify the terms regarding our military assets. What military assets? Zorthak laughed. Your moon base is destroyed. Your primitive ships are no match for our fleet. What military could you possibly have that concerns us? Carter smiled slightly. High Chancellor, you haven't seen the real human army yet. As if on cue, alarms began to sound throughout the Dominion flagship. An officer rushed in. High Chancellor, we are under attack. Earth forces are hitting our positions worldwide. Zorthak stood up, his blue skin turning almost white. What Earth forces? Show me. On screens around the room, images appeared of hidden bases opening across the planet. In the Himalayan mountains, huge doors slid apart, revealing advanced battle platforms. In the Amazon rainforest, trees moved aside as missile launchers rose from underground. Off the coast of Australia, the ocean churned as massive structures emerged from the depths. Around the planet, What the Dominion had thought was, Earth's full military force was revealed to be just a small public fraction. The real army had been hidden, waiting. General Kate Patterson stood in her command center watching as reports came in from around the world. Every hidden base was now active. Forces that had trained in secret for decades were engaging the enemy. Status. Report, she ordered. All units deployed and engaging, General. Orbital defense grid powering up. Above Earth, satellites that the Dominion had dismissed as weather or communication equipment suddenly came alive. Energy beams connected them, forming a web around the planet. Dominion ships that tried to pass through the web found their systems, failing. In his flagship, Admiral Krell watched in horror as human forces appeared everywhere at once. How is this possible? Our intelligence said they had no significant military. A science officer looked up from his station. Sir, it appears they have technology that blocks our scans. We never saw their real installations. On Earth, Frank. Martinez led a team to retake a city center held by Dominion troops. His soldiers carried weapons that seemed to phase through alien shields. Keep moving, he ordered. Remember your training. His soldiers moved with precision that shocked the alien forces. These weren't the disorganized defenders the Dominion had expected. These were elite troops who had prepared specifically to fight this enemy. High Chancellor Zorthak turned to Carter, his forearms trembling with rage. You deceived us. This was planned. Carter's face showed no emotion. You attacked us without provocation. Did you think we would be unprepared? Earth has known about the Dominion for generations. We've been watching your conquests, learning your tactics. In orbit, Kelly's squadron made another attack run, this time against a Dominion cruiser. Their weapons targeted specific points, disabling the ship without destroying it. Target engines only, Kelly ordered. We want them disabled, not destroyed. As her fighter passed the cruiser's bridge, she saw Dominion officers staring in shock. She couldn't help but smile as her squadron disappeared. Again, Dr. Lisa Green worked with her team to coordinate the planetary defense. Data from the quantum trackers that Frank had planted helped them predict Dominion movements. They're trying to regroup near Mars, she said, pointing to a display. Redirect the asteroid belt defense platforms to cut them off. In space, what? The Dominion had thought were simply asteroids suddenly changed course. They were actually heavily armed fortresses disguised as space rocks. They moved to block the Dominion's retreat path. Admiral Russell received reports from all fronts. The Dominion fleet is in disarray, an officer reported. They're calling for reinforcements, but our jamming systems are blocking most of their long-range communications. John nodded. Keep the pressure on. It's time to show them exactly who they're dealing with. He opened a channel to all Earth forces. This is Admiral Russell. Phase 3 is now active. I repeat, Phase 3 is active. Show them what humanity is truly capable of. Across the solar system, more hidden forces revealed themselves. The true scale of Earth's military might was finally unveiled, and the Dominion forces could only watch in shock as their invasion plans fell apart. Galactic Empire in shock. You haven't seen the real human army yet. Part 4 Admiral Krell paced the bridge of his command ship. Reports of human attacks came from everywhere in the solar system. His officers worked frantically at their stations, trying to coordinate a defense. How could we have missed this, he demanded. Where did all these forces come from? A science officer looked up from his screen. Sir, it appears the humans have technology that hides their installations from our scans. They've been preparing for this encounter for years. Krell slammed his fist on a console. Contact High Chancellor Zorthak. We need reinforcements from the home fleet. The communications officer tried repeatedly. Sir, I cannot reach the flagship. Something is blocking our transmissions. On Earth, massive carriers rose from beneath the ocean floors. Each one held hundreds of fighters and thousands of troops. They had been hidden for decades, waiting for this moment. Around the planet, other forces emerged from mountains, deserts, and ice caps. In her laboratory, Dr. Lisa Green finished her analysis of Dominion shield frequencies. She had been working on it since first examining their technology during the initial contact. I've got it, she said to her team. Their shields operate on a rotating frequency. But there's a pattern we can exploit. She sent the data to Earth's forces. All units, update your weapons with these frequency codes. Their shields will no longer protect them. In orbit, Kelly Martinez received the update. Phoenix Squadron, upload the new codes to your targeting systems. Her fighters swooped toward a Dominion battleship. Their weapons cut through the enemy shields like they weren't even there. The battleship's engines failed, and it drifted helplessly. Colonel, Ryan Davis led an assault team toward a Dominion communications hub they had set up in what was once New York City. His soldiers moved silently through the streets, using technology that made them nearly invisible to Dominion sensors. Remember, we need their communication codes intact, he told his team. Disable, don't destroy. They reached the building where the aliens had set up their equipment. Ryan signaled and his team moved in from all sides. The Dominion guards never saw them coming. Within minutes, the hub was secured. Begin the download, Ryan ordered. A technician connected to the alien computers. We're in, downloading their tactical data now. This scene repeated around the world as human forces captured key Dominion installations. Each capture gave Earth more information about enemy plans and capabilities. High Chancellor Zorthak was no longer laughing. He stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching as his invasion force fell apart. Next to him, Ambassador Carter Williams and Susan Johnson waited calmly. How is this possible? Zorthak asked, his voice shaking. Your species was supposed to be primitive, easy to conquer. You made a mistake, Carter said. You judged us by what you could see. You never considered what we might be hiding. A communication screen lit up. A stern human face appeared. It was Admiral John Russell. This is Admiral Russell, Supreme Commander of Earth's United Defense Force. I'm addressing the leadership of the Galactic Dominion. Zorthak stared at the screen. Who are you? We were told Earth had no unified military command. Your intelligence was flawed, John replied. What you saw was our peacetime economy and our public defense forces. Merely the tip of the iceberg, he gestured, and the screen split to show images of Earth's hidden military might now revealed. Advanced ships, weapons, and bases that had remained concealed until now. For generations we've been watching the stars. We detected your scout ships long before you made official contact. We knew about your empire's habit of conquering worlds that seemed vulnerable. Zorthak's 4 arms dropped to his sides. Impossible. Our stealth technology is the most advanced in the galaxy. John smiled slightly. Not anymore. Earth has been preparing for this day for over a century. In space, the Dominion made one final, desperate push. Admiral Krell gathered all his remaining ships for a massive assault on Earth. It was their last chance to break through and turn the tide. All ships, target their defense grid, he ordered. Concentrate fire on these coordinates. The Dominion fleet fired everything they had, but as their weapons approached Earth, they encountered defense systems beyond anything they had imagined possible. Gravity wells that bent energy beams away from their targets, temporal distortion fields that slowed incoming projectiles to a crawl, and quantum disruptors that simply made attacks cease to exist. General Kate Patterson watched from her command center as the defense grid handled the assault. They're throwing everything they have at us, she said, and it's not enough. Should we counterattack? Asked her second-in-command. Kate shook her head. No. Follow the plan. Disable, don't destroy. Earth forces moved methodically, targeting Dominion vessels with precision strikes that disabled their weapons and engines while leaving the ships intact. One by one, the alien vessels went dark, drifting helplessly in space. Ambassador Carter Williams stood on the bridge of the human flagship Defiance alongside Lieutenant Commander Alan Miller. Through the view screen, they watched as the Dominion fleet was systematically disabled. We could destroy them all, Alan said quietly. Carter shook his head. We don't need to annihilate them. We just need to show them who they're really dealing with. Humans aren't conquerors, we're defenders. Across the solar system, the battle turned decidedly in Earth's favor. The Dominion forces that had arrived so confidently were now either captured, disabled, or in retreat. Frank Martinez led a team to secure a landing zone for Dominion escape pods. Many alien soldiers were abandoning their ships, preferring surrender, to continued fighting. "Set up the containment field here," Frank ordered. "Remember, they're scared. No unnecessary force." His soldiers created a safe area for the aliens to land. Medical teams stood ready to treat any injuries. This was not just a military victory for humanity, but a moral one. They would show mercy even to those who had invaded them. On the Dominion flagship, High Chancellor Zorthak finally accepted defeat. "How could we have been so wrong about your species?" "You saw what we wanted you to see," Susan Johnson replied. "A lesson for the future. Never judge a civilization only by its surface." Admiral Russell opened a channel to all Earth forces. "All units, this is command. Phase 4 is now in effect. Secure all Dominion assets and prepare for diplomatic resolution." The battle for Earth was over. The planet had revealed its true strength, and the galaxy would never see humans the same way again. Galactic Empire in shock. "You haven't seen the real human army yet." Part 5. 1 week after the battle, the Dominion fleet hung disabled in Earth orbit. Their ships were intact but powerless, surrounded by human vessels that had emerged from hiding places throughout the solar system. News of the Dominion's defeat spread across their empire. For the first time in thousands of years, the mighty Galactic Dominion had failed to conquer a world. On several planets under Dominion control, subject species began to whisper about resistance. If humans could stand against the Empire, perhaps they could too. Admiral John Russell prepared to meet with the Galactic Council, the true governing body behind the Dominion's expansion. His shuttle approached the massive council station that had arrived at the edge of the solar system. Carter Williams and Dr. Lisa Green accompanied him. "They're worried," Carter said, looking at data on his tablet. "We're the first civilization to defeat them in over 500 years. John nodded. "Good. They should be worried, but we're not here to threaten them. We're here to establish a new relationship." Their shuttle docked at the station. Guards led them to a large chamber where 7 alien beings waited. Each looked different, representing the founding species of the Dominion. High Chancellor Zorthak stood to one side, his posture showing his shame at his failure. "Welcome, humans," said the central figure, a tall being with golden skin. "I am Prime Counselor Vex. We wish to discuss the misunderstanding that occurred in your system." John stepped forward. "It was not a misunderstanding, it was an unprovoked attack, but we are willing to move forward." The council members looked at each other. They were not used to such direct speech. "How did your world hide such military power?" asked another counselor. "Our scans showed only primitive defenses. Humanity has remained hidden for centuries," John revealed. "We detected your scouts long before official first contact and prepared accordingly. Earth wasn't an isolated world. We were watching, waiting, and preparing." The council chamber went silent. Finally, Prime Counselor Vex spoke again. "You knew of us before we found you?" Lisa Green stepped forward. "We detected your first scout ships nearly 100 years ago. They thought they were undetectable, but we found them." She displayed holographic images showing Dominion scout ships that had visited Earth's solar system decades earlier. "When we realized you were studying us, we decided to study you too. We learned about your empire, your conquests, your tactics. Everything." The council looked disturbed. Their entire strategy of expansion relied on finding unsuspecting worlds. Carter spoke next. "We could have revealed ourselves then, but we chose to wait, to prepare, to build our defenses in secret while letting you see only what we wanted you to see. On Earth, celebrations continued in cities worldwide. The Dominion troops who had landed were now prisoners, being treated well but under heavy guard. Frank Martinez oversaw one of the detention centers. "They're still in shock," he told his daughter Kelly when she visited. "They can't believe they lost." Kelly nodded. "You should have seen their faces when our fighters appeared out of nowhere. They thought they had the most advanced technology in the galaxy." "They did," Frank said with a smile, "until they met us." Meanwhile, Dr. Stephen Cooper and his team at the Prometheus Division were studying captured Dominion technology. Their FTL drive is interesting, he told his colleagues. But their stealth systems are far behind ours. No wonder they never detected our hidden bases. A technician looked up from a console. Sir, we're receiving a transmission from Admiral Russell at the Council Station. The main screen lit up, showing John's face. Dr. Cooper, begin Phase 5. It's time for humanity to take its place in the galaxy. Stephen nodded. Yes, Admiral. He turned to his team. Open the vault, all of it. In another part of the facility, massive doors that hadn't been opened in generations slowly began to slide apart. What lay behind them would change the course of galactic history. Back at the Council Station, John continued his meeting with the Galactic Council. We propose a new framework for relations between our civilizations, he said. One based on mutual respect rather than dominance. Dr. Green displayed a hologram showing a new type of alliance structure. Our scientists have developed this model based on studying thousands of Earth cultures. It allows for cooperation without requiring submission. The Council studied the proposal with interest. Some seemed resistant, but others nodded in approval. And, if we refuse? Asked one counselor. John's expression remained calm. That would be unfortunate. We prefer peace. But make no mistake, Earth can defend itself, and we will help others do the same if necessary. The Prime Counselor raised a hand. We will consider your proposal. The Dominion has existed for millennia. Change does not come easily to us. Change rarely does, Carter replied, but it comes nonetheless. As the meeting ended, the humans returned to their shuttle. Looking out the window, they saw a fleet of Dominion ships approaching the station. Reinforcements that had arrived, too. Late. They still outnumber us, Lisa noted. John nodded. In ships, yes, but not in innovation or determination, and they know it now. Their shuttle returned to Earth, landing at the new Global Defense Headquarters built into Mount Everest. General Kate Patterson met them on the landing pad. How did it go? She asked. As expected, John replied. They're afraid, curious, and reluctant to change, but they'll come around. Kate smiled. They don't have much choice, not after what we showed them. Later that evening, Frank and Kelly Martinez attended a celebration in Washington, D.C. Soldiers and civilians gathered to honor those who had defended Earth. Do you think they'll try again? Kelly asked her father as they watched fireworks light up the sky. Frank shook his head. Not after what they've seen, and they still haven't seen everything. He glanced toward the moon, where construction had already begun on a new, much larger base to replace the one destroyed in the initial attack. On a space station orbiting Jupiter, Ambassador Williams and Admiral Russell met one last time before Carter would return to diplomatic duties. The Council has accepted our initial terms, Carter said, looking at a message on his tablet. They've agreed to recognize Earth as an independent power, not subject to Dominion authority. John nodded. It's a start. They looked out the window at a sight few humans had ever seen. A vast fleet of Earth ships assembled near Jupiter. These vessels were far more advanced than even the ones used to defeat the Dominion. We revealed only what we needed to, John noted. Earth still has its secrets, Carter smiled. And those secrets will help ensure peace. Not just peace, John replied. A new order. One where no species threatens another as the Dominion once did. As they spoke, orders went out to Earth's hidden fleets. The next phase of human expansion into the stars had begun. Not as conquerors, but as peacekeepers, the galaxy was about to change forever.